Flames of Terror campaign. This battle is called the Crucible. This is a mission from Vigilus Ablaze. This is called From an Unexpected Quarter with a slight twist. We're playing deployment as the mission, so the central 24-inch diameter circle will be the defender's deployment zone. Everything must be set up on the table. The attacker will deploy on any table edge up to 6 inches in. The mission that we're doing, we've added in as a slight extra some objective markers. So we've got number 1, number 2 in the center, and number 3 over here. All 3 are worth 1 point to the defender. For the attacker, numbers 1 and 3 on the outside of the circle are worth 1 point, but the central one is worth 2 points. We're also playing Slay the Warlord, First Strike and Line Breaker as usual. The attacker will take the first turn, so there'll be no seizing of the first turn, and they'll be using the sustained assault rules, so they'll be bringing units back onto the table within 6 inches of any table edge, unless that table edge is covered. Now, to be covered, table edge must have 2 or more of the defender's units within 6 inches of that edge, and none of the attacker's models within 6 inches. We're also going to be using the reserve rules as well, so that may well change tactics for the Khorne player. So just a quick overview of the table. The mat is from Artistic Impressions, one of my favourite eBay sites. We've got MDF buildings, Games Workshop corner pieces, barrels, crates, ammo crates. The trees are from Poland, and the barricades, etc., are all from the web. So that is the table. Let's go and have a look at the armies. So here is Banach's Blood Drinkers. This is 2,200 points, or just a shade over. We've got a battalion and a vanguard in here. Look at the battalion first. Here's Banach with the murder sword and a plasma pistol, and his sorcerer, Engara, with power axe and bolt pistol. 2 squads of 10 berserkers. The right hand squad is chainsword all the way through. The left hand squad is a chain axe on the champion, riding in 2 rhinos. And then a squad of 20 cultists and a squad of 10 cultists, and then 5 raptors over the back. The battalion also has a squad of 10 bloodletters in it as well, which will appear on the table at some point. And then in the vanguard, led by Godros the Eviscerator, Chaos Lord on Juggernaut of Khorne with a power axe and plasma pistol. Squad of 10 Chaos Space Marines. These are all bolter and bolt pistol, even though there are a multitude of different weapons in there. We've then got a squad of 3 bikes, 2 Hellbrutes, squad of 5 Terminators, 1 Helldrake, and the Desolate Ones, who are back up to full strength after being smashed into the ground in the last battle. So 14 Chaos Berserkers, 4 of those with chain axes, 9 with chain swords, and a power axe on the champion. So that is Banach's Blood Drinkers, almost at full strength. There's a Dark Apostle waiting in the wings, who will join hopefully for battle number 4, and also another 10 bloodletters to bring us up to a total of 30. In terms of command points, 3 for being battle forged, 5 for the battalion, and 1 for the vanguard, for a total of 8. Legion trait is Dark Raiders, so they can advance and charge in the same turn. And obviously Death to the False Emperor is in there. And the Warlord trait for Banach is Exalted Champion, so he gets to add 1 to his attacks characteristic. So yeah, that's it for Chaos. Let's have a look at Space Marines. Here's 2,200 points, or just over, of Stone Dog Space Marines. So we've got 2 battalions and a vanguard. Vanguard first is over the far side here. So Primaris Librarian and Standard Chaplain. 2 Dreadnoughts and a Redemptor. The front 2 Dreadnoughts, both with twin las. Flamer on the left and Heavy Bolter on the right. And then the Redemptor with the standard loadout, so Onslaught Gatling Cannon, Icarus rocket pods, Fragstorm grenade launcher, and the close combat weapon. In the 1st Battalion, we've got standard Captain and standard Librarian, 3 10-man tac squads riding in rhinos. These are all Flamer, missile launcher and chainsword on the sergeant, and an additional squad of devastators, las cannons, heavy bolter and lightning claw. And then the 2nd battalion, which has got Aldous leading, his librarian and his chaplain, 5-man scout squad, and then 2 5-man intercessor squads. So that is the army. Warlord trait for Aldous is Champion of Humanity, so add 1 to all hit and win rolls in the fight phase versus enemy characters. His relic is the Burning Blade, so that's his standard loadout. Chapter tactic for these guys is Lightning Assault, so +2 to advanced moves, and then can still charge in a turn where they fell back. So that's the Space Marine army. Let's go to deployment. So the Space Marines are fully deployed on the table now. Just to talk you through where we are. So we've got 2 rhinos. The heavy weapons have created a perimeter around objective number 2, so a lot of las cannon fire in there. Captain and Librarian just here. Intercessor squad with the Terminator command. Third rhino just over on the far side there. More intercessors with the Librarian and Chaplain, and then the advanced deployed scouts on objective number 1. So that's everything on the table. Obviously the rhinos are full of tactical marines, and the plan is to get those out to at least 2 table edges early doors to try and clear the enemy units and take control of those table edges. So that's it for Space Marines. So first turn coming up next. So this is turn number 1. Now all of the Chaos units are arriving from reserves, so that means obviously rolling d6s, and then on a 3+, the unit will arrive. It can arrive on any battlefield edge, no more than 6 inches onto that edge. Now tactically, need to think about this a little bit, because the covered rule, which means that the Space Marines can cover a table edge if they have 2 or more units within 6 inches of that edge, and there are no Chaos units within that edge, means that I've either got to spread the Chaos troops as much as possible and hope I get numbers to try and minimize the chance of each edge being covered, or I sacrifice 1, 2 or 3 tabletop edges and just pile in on one side just to get superiority, if that makes sense. So, you know, try and create a beachhead of sorts. So I guess it's a case of rolling first and seeing what we have available for turn number 1. So let's start with 20 cultists. They're coming on a 3. I'm going to, excuse my phone, just flopping down. That is for 10 blood letters, so they're coming back on, or coming on, I should say. This is for 10 cultists, 10 cultists are not coming on. 10 berserkers in a rhino. Ooh. Oh, they're both threes, so one squad's coming on. And another 10 in a rhino. And they're coming on. 10 10 chaos space marines are coming on. Squad of 5 raptors are coming on. The desolate ones, 14 berserkers, are coming on. Squad of 3 chaos bikers are coming on. Not a fan of these dice, they don't actually roll particularly well. Hellbrute, they spin pretty well though. One Hellbrute is coming on. Second Hellbrute is not coming on, that was a 1 in case you didn't see it. Helldrake is not coming on. Chaos Lord on Juggernaut, that's a 3. That is the Chaos Lord on Juggernaut coming on. Sorcerer is on. And finally, Banach Baneblade himself is coming on. So not too bad. Out of all of that, we've got 10 cultists not coming on, and a squad, what was it, a Hellbrute not coming on. There is one more. We've got some Terminators, 5 Terminators who are not coming on. So not too bad. So, oh, and the Helldrake's not coming on either. So let's get those deployed, and then we'll look at what we've deployed and where and why. See you in a minute. Right, so everything that we've rolled for has now been placed on the table. I did make one mistake. I did roll for the war bikes to come back on, the Chaos Bikers, and they did actually succeed, so those are now on the table. Now what I've gone for is a cover of all 4 table edges for turn 1. So on the left hand end we've got 10 Berserkers in a Rhino, 10 Chaos Space Marines and the Chaos Lord. And then over on this long side there's the second Rhino with 10 Berserkers, 10 Bloodletters, 5 Raptors and a Sorcerer, and the Desolate ones on this end. And then round on the right hand short edge, Chaos Lord on Juggernaut and 20 cultists facing into the snipers. And all the way around here, as you've already seen, 3 war bikes and 1 Hellbrute. So I figured that for turn 1 at least, I needed to try and cover all options in terms of all 4 points of the compass, just to kind of test the Stone Dog's lines, just to see where any weak spots may be, and then try and focus on that area and capitalize on that weakness. So that's movement done basically, because they are now all deployed on the table. So psychic phase for chaos is coming right up. So turn 1 psychic phase, the sorcerer who's here is going to attempt to cast a smite on the blue Rhino. So this goes off on a 5. Ooh, so that is a super smite, so that's d6 mortal wounds. Can the librarian, is he in range? Ooh, that's a good question. 24 inches. So the Primaris librarian is out of range, and the Terminator librarian is out of range, so they can't deny it. So d6 mortal wounds on that Rhino for 3. Okay, good start. Sorcerer is now going to cast Infernal Gaze on the same unit. This is a warp charge of 5. That goes off. So I now need to roll 3 dice. I should have brought an extra dice with me. Whoops, there we go. For everything over a 4, that's a additional mortal wound. Oh, that's a shame. So unfortunately that double 4 means that that was a perils. So D3 mortal wounds on the sorcerer for 3 mortal wounds on the chaos sorcerer. Okay, so shooting phase is next. So the Chaos Space Marines are going to shoot their bolters into the Intercessor squad just behind this barrier. So it's normally a 3 to hit, but 4s because of cover. 9 shots. Okay, not too bad. So 7 hits, strength 4 versus toughness 4. Okay, that's 2 wounds. 3 up saves. Okay, 1 wound goes through. Now it's the turn of the Stormbolter on the Rhino, again into the Intercessors, hitting on 4s, no hits. Stormbolter on this Rhino is going to shoot through into the Intercessors just behind these barricades, so 2 shots, hitting on 4s because of cover, 1 hit, that's 1 wound, and it's a 3 up save, which is not saved, so that is 1 dead Intercessor. They've already lost 1 wound, so that guy there is gone. Right, so the Desolate ones are all bolt pistols, so they have nothing in range. Same for the Lord, he's a plasma pistol. So we're now looking at the cultists. These guys are shooting at the sniper scouts. So this is 23 auto gun shots, hitting on 6s. Normally be a 4, but because of cover and because of camo cloaks, that makes it a 6. So here we go. 1, 2, 3 hits. Okay, so these are strength 3, toughness 4, so 5s to wound, no wounds. Okay, shotgun next. So shotgun is 2 shots, again hitting on 6s, no hits. And then we've got an auto stubber in there as well. When I say auto stubber, I mean heavy stubber. Now that's a heavy weapon. Unfortunately, that means it's -1 to hit. So they would need to roll a 7 to hit the snipers, so not even any point rolling for that one. So that's it for the cultists. Next it's the warbikers. They're going to be shooting at the Intercessors. So these are combi bolters, which are rapid fire. These are rapid fire 2 weapons, so this is going to be 12 shots. Just give another few die. There we go. So 12 shots hitting on 4s because of cover. Okay, and then wounding on 4s. And then 3 ups. Okay, so they're all good. And then finally over here we've got the multi-melter on the Hellbrute. Can he see the Redemptor? I would argue not. Redemptor's right there. So if we get down here, I would say he is not able to see the Redemptor. So we're going to have to shoot, unfortunately, at... Can you see that Rhino? No, not really. So it's going to have to be a shot at the Intercessors right here. So it's 1 shot that hits on a 4 because of cover, and it doesn't hit. Okay, that's the end of shooting. So just double check that we've done everything. Yeah, we're all good. So charge phase coming up. Right, first things first, the Raptors are going to charge at the blue Rhino, which is on 9 wounds currently. So they are within range. So Overwatch at 12 inches, half range. That's going to be rapid fire. So it's going to be 4 shots hitting on 6s. So we've got 1 hit in there. Strength 4, toughness 4, 3 up save. Saved. Do they make the charge? Oh, bear in mind. Okay, not to worry about that. That's probably a bit of a long shot. Next, we're going to look at the Warbikes over here, who are going to charge at this Rhino. So again, 4 shots, 1 hit on Overwatch, wounds, saved. Nope, failed charge. And finally, do we want to charge here? I don't know that we do. Yeah, we'll give it a go. 5 shots from the sniper rifles. Gives 2 hits. Strength 4. Oh, right, okay, so that was a mortal wound. And the other one was a hit. So 6 up save. Not saved. Okay, so that's 1 cultist down at least. There we go. Do they make the charge? That is a no. Okay, that's it for charges. No morale. End of chaos. Turn number 1. 0 points scored. Okay, so turn 1 movement phase for Space Marines is over. These 2 Rhinos have both advanced, having emptied themselves of their 2 10-man tac squads, which are now protecting the barricade just on this side here. And then around the far side, the other Rhino again has emptied itself. So we've got a squad there protecting the entrance to the Crucible. And the Rhino has advanced to tie up these Warbikes. So that is it for movement. It's Psychic coming up next. The Primaris Librarian is going to cast a smite on the Warbikes. So that is successful and causes 1 mortal wound. Also going to cast Psychic Scourge. So roll a d6 and add the Psyker's leadership. So 9 plus 3 is 12. Leadership on the Warbikes is 8, which they fail. So that means it's d3 mortal wounds on the Warbikes. That was a 6, so that's 3. So 1 out there, 1 out there. Okay, successful psychic phase from the Primaris. Moving across to the Terminator. Let's see what we can do over this side. So first things first, smite on the Hellbrute. Whoops, let's try that one again. Right, now that's going to need a 6 to go off because we've already cast it once, so that's a fail. Let's have a look at what other powers we can do. Just in case you were wondering, the enemy saucer is out of range of both psychers, so no attempt to deny. Now the librarian is going to try and cast Might of Heroes on this rhino. This goes off on a 6. Oh dear. Okay, so it goes off, but it's a perils. So that model now has +1 to strength, toughness and attacks, but we take D3 mortal wounds on the psyker. No! Okay, 3 mortal wounds on the librarian. Space Marine shooting phase. First things first, gonna shoot both Stormbolters from the rhinos into the Chaos Space Marines just over here. So 4 shots hitting on 4s because of cover. We've got 3 hits, strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, 3 up saves. Right, okay, so that is 1 dead Chaos Space Marine. Hunter Killer Missile on the yellow rhino is going to go into the rhino over the back there. So this is going to hit on a 4. So that hits. It's strength 8 versus toughness 7. So a 3 to wound. That wounds. It's -3 AP. So 6 up save. Not saved. And it is D6 damage for 5. So that rhino is now down to 5 wounds from 10. Next we've got 4 bolt rifle shots going into the Chaos Marines. So hitting on 4s, 2 hits, wounding on 4s, no wounds. Okay, we've then got the Stormbolters on the 3 commanders here. Again, all going into the Chaos Marines, so those all hit. I've got one that hits on a 2 and the other 2 hit on a 3, so 4s to wound. Ah, no, cover. One of those missed. 4s to wound, 2 wounds, 3 up saves, both saved. Okay then. So, let's do these Marines first. Now, these 2 Space Marines on the end are going to shoot at the Bloodletters. Now, they have moved, but because they're in half range, I believe they still get the rapid fire ability. So that's going to be 4 shots hitting on 4s. Okay, 3 hits, 4s to wound, 2 wounds, and these guys are 6 up saves. So that's 2 dead Bloodletters. Right, so next the rest of the bolt guns and bolt pistols in these 2 squads are going to shoot at the Raptors. So again, they're all within half range for the bolt guns. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bolt guns. So that's 24 shots. 2 bolt pistols, so 26 shots. So I can't hold that many dice and roll at the same time. I need to get a better camera. But that's basically the hit roll. So we're hitting on 4s because the excuse me, the Raptors are in cover. So miss, 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 miss. Quite a few misses in there. There we go. So those are all the hits. Wounding on 4s. And 3 up saves. So 1 goes through. I'm pretty sure they're 1 wound models. So I will take one of the bolt pistol guys from the front. That leaves 4 left. So the 2 flamers are out of range, so that just leaves us the 2 missile launchers. So again, 4s to hit. 1 hits. Yeah, so 4s to hit, that's 1 hit. So this is a crack missile. Unfortunately, I picked the wrong missile, but never mind. I'm going to waste some damage here. So strength 8 versus toughness 4. So 2 to wound. That's a wound. And AP, I believe, is -2. It sure is. So a 5-up save. Oh, look at that. Didn't matter anyway. Okay, so the Raptors make it through both missile launcher shots. So that's it for the Space Marines on this side. These guys just here are going to shoot. So the captain is going to shoot at the bloodletters. That's a master crafted bolt gun. He's outside of half range. Hasn't moved though, so 2 shots. Both hit. 4s to wound, 1 wound, 6-up save, saved. Okay. I have a feeling I may have missed a librarian, so I'm going to scoot back and do that part of the psychic phase before we do any more shooting. Yeah, so although that is actually, I believe, a chaplain model, he is actually a librarian for the purposes of this game. So I'm going to do a smite onto the bloodletters. So the first one went off on a 5, that's fine. D3 mortal wounds, except the sorcerer is within range and he denies it. Okay. Already done Might of Heroes. Already done Psychic Scourge. That leaves me Veil of Time and Fury of the Ancients. Now, Veil of Time can re-roll charge rolls and advance rolls, and they always fight first in the fight phase. Fury of the Ancients, roll d6, select a visible enemy model within that many inches of the 3d6. Ah, right, okay, so this is the 3d6 roll. Draw a line, and then any enemy unit which that line passes over or through suffers a mortal wound. I'm not going to bother doing any more psychic powers this turn, because the only unit really that's visible is the bloodletters. Taking out 1 more bloodletter at this stage is probably not that valid. I think I might have some more shooting that can target them later on in the turn. So we'll go back to shooting. These 2 units here have all shot. I'm going to go over to the snipers next, and they are going to target the Lord on Juggernaut. So 5 shots, remembering they hit on a 3. So they've got 2 hits, 4s to wound, 1 wound, and the Lord, I believe, has a 2-up save. Well, he's saved it anyway. Okay, not a really good shooting phase from the snipers. Right, so next we're going to go over the far side and we're going to look at the intercessors. So the intercessors are going to shoot at this warbike within 12 inches, rapid fire. So that's 10 shots. 10 shots hitting on 3s and wounding on 5s, I think. I've got a feeling the warbikes are toughness 5. Let me just check. Yeah, toughness 5 for the warbikes, so wounding on 5s. And they get a 3-up save. So he's good. Okay, Storm Bolter on the Rhino next. So again, within half range, rapid fire. Two hits, 5s to wound, 1 wound, 3 up save. Whoops, saved. Okay, these Space Marines, these are going to shoot at the Warbike as well. So we've got 7 bolt gun shots, hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s, no wounds. And then the missile launcher, which this time is going to fire a frag missile, which is what I should have done last time, I think. Or should I? Yes, I should have fired a frag missile last time because they were 1 wound models. This time, because it's a multi-wound model, I need to fire a crack missile. So, hitting on a 3 hits. So it's strength 8. Yeah, strength 8 versus toughness 5. So it's a 3 to wound. That wounds. It's -2 AP, so it's a 5 up save. Not saved, and it's D6 damage for 4. So that's a 2 wound model. He's gone. Now we get to the units in the centre. Now the majority of these units are going to be firing las cannons. Unfortunately, there's not a massive amount that they can shoot at unless they can target this Rhino, which I'm going to argue that they can. So this is 3 shots hitting on 3s. That's 3 hits. These are strength 9 versus toughness 7, so 3s to wound, 2 wounds, and they are, I believe, -3 AP. They are indeed -3 AP, so 6 up saves, 1 saved, so D6 damage for 1. Okay, so that was the heavies just here, the Devastators. So they've taken 1 wound off of that Rhino. The heavy bolter is going to fire at the cultists over the far side there. So this is 3 shots hitting on 3s. 1 hit, strength 4, toughness 3, so 3s to wound. That is a wound. It's a -1 AP, so they can't save for 1 damage. So that's another dead cultist. Let's take one of the guys from the back there. Now the twin las cannon on both of these dreadnoughts are going to fire at this Rhino as well. So they're heavy 2. They haven't moved, so it's 4 shots hitting on 3s. 4 hits, strength 9, toughness 7, so 3s to wound, 3 wounds, -3 AP again, so -3 AP is a 6 up, so 1 saved, D6 damage for 3, so now down to 6 wounds. Okay, heavy bolter on this dreadnought is going to fire at the cultists. So 3 shots hitting on 3s. Strength is 5, toughness 3, so 3s to wound, 2 wounds. It's -1 AP again, so it's another 2 dead cultists. Just keep taking them from, it's all the same unit, so it doesn't matter. We'll take 2 from that side. Heavy onslaught Gatling cannon from the Redemptor. I want to shoot it at that Rhino, but I just need to check the range. So it's 30-inch range on the gun and 28 inches range on the actual weapon itself. It's heavy 12. He hasn't moved, so it's 12 shots hitting on 3s. So we've got 1, 2, 3 misses. So it's 5s to wound. Wow. That's 5 wounds. And it's -1 AP, so it's a 4 up save. Right. 4 wounds go through, so that puts him down to 1. Okay, so final weapon on the Redemptor is the Icarus rocket pod. That's the only other one we can shoot. That's heavy 3, so 3 shots. We're aiming at the bloodletters, so 3 shots hitting on 3s. That's 2 hits, and it's strength 7, toughness 4, so 3s to wound. That's 1 wound, and it's -1 AP, so that takes out another bloodletter because they've got a 6 up save. Okay, and that, I believe, is the end of shooting for Space Marines. So we're now in the charge phase, and the only charge that I had intended to perform was the Rhino into the war bikes, which are now off the table. So there's not anything else really at the moment that actually would really be worth going for. Everything is pretty much on the limits, the upper limits of its charge range. These guys over this side have got to get through or around all these barricades, so probably better off just staying put and just shooting Overwatch if they get charged in the Space Marine, sorry, the Chaos turn. 2 Rhinos here, probably too far away to charge. Can either go in that direction or this direction, and again, you know, a bit risky. So I'm going to call the end of the turn for Space Marines there. So we've got 3 points. So we've got point number 1 there, point number 2 there, point number 3 there. So it's 3 points to 0 at the end of battle round 1. However, Chaos are now going to roll to see what comes back onto the table. Okay, so we're going to roll for the Helldrake first. He's coming back on, coming on. 5 Terminators, not coming on. 3 Warbikes, coming on. And the only other unit we've got is 10 Cultists, who are not coming on. Right, so Helldrake and Warbikes are coming on at the end of the movement. Oh, Hellbrute, there's another Hellbrute, which is coming on. So Hellbrute, Helldrake, and 1 squad of 3 bikers will be coming on at the end of the Chaos movement phase, which we're going into now. So a quick run through movement and additional deployment for Chaos. We'll start round on this far side. So Hellbrute has moved into charge range of the Rhino. Warbikes have deployed just here. Second Hellbrute has deployed just here, just over 9 inches away from said Rhino. So a bit of a pincer move going on there. Cultists have stayed put. Chaos Lord has advanced. Berserkers, the Desolate Ones, have advanced. The Sorcerer has just moved into the building. Bloodletters have advanced but only rolled 1. Raptors have advanced but only rolled 1. The Rhino over here has deployed its 10-man squad of Berserkers and then moved forwards. And the Chaos Lord and the Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, have moved forwards, standard move. This Rhino has again emptied itself of its 10-man Berserker squad and moved to intercept the Space Marine Rhino. And finally, the Helldrake is now on the table, over in this corner, looking into the central area. So that's movement complete for Chaos. Psychic phase is next. So first power is a smite onto the standard Space Marine squad on the right, the blue banded squad. So we're looking for a 5 and we get it. There is a librarian right there who potentially can deny it on a 6+, which he does. Also now going to do Psychic Scourge on the same unit, so that's 3d6, and on each 4 that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Wow, this sorcerer is just having no luck whatsoever today. So that's it for the psychic phase. Shooting is next. Right, so cultists shooting their auto guns into the snipers. So these guys hit on 6s because of cover and camo cloaks. So there's literally 2 hits in there. So these are a 4 to wound. That's 1 wound and a 3-up save. That is a save. Sorry, that was a 5-up to wound, but they rolled a 6. So still saved. Haven't lost anything. Okay, so shotgun next is heavy 3. Sorry, heavy stubber is heavy 3. So this hits on a 6 again. No hits. And the shotgun is assault 2. So hits on it's 1 hit. Strength is 3 against toughness 4, so it's a 5 to wound. That is a wound. Let me just check that, because I don't recall doing that in that way last time. Hold on 1 moment. No, I was right. It was because in the first round they were considered as being moved because they'd come in as part of reserves. So that is 1 failed save for the snipers. So we'll lose that one there. So we've now got 7 bolt pistol shots from this unit going into the snipers as well. So these are hitting on 5s. That's 3 hits. Wounding on 4s, 2 wounds, and 3-up saves. Saved. Okay, finally we have the plasma pistol on the Lord again, who's going to fire into the snipers. So let's just have a look at his stats and we'll come right back. So this guy normally hits on a 2, so he'll be hitting on a 4. It's a pistol, so it's 1 shot hitting on a 4. And he misses. Now, just while we're on the subject of the Chaos Lord on Juggernaut, he's only available in the Chaos Index, Chaos Space Marines Index. He's not available in the Codex, which seems a little bit daft to me. So I've had to push license a little bit, because I did actually put him in as the HQ of one of my Battleforged units, which really he should have been in a detachment all on his own or with other index units. So, you know, there you go. This is narrative. What can I say? Anyway, moving on, we're going to move around the table. We've got Hellbrute with Multi-Melter next. So we're actually going to fire both of the multi-melters at the same time. They both moved. This one moved from here, and this one moved in from reinforcements. So normally hitting on a 3, actually now hitting on a 4. So that's 1 hit. Strength 8, toughness 7, so 3. That wounds. And it's -4 AP. The Rhino gets a 3-up save, so can't save against this, and it's D6 damage. Oh, what a shame. Okay, well, there you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So I just want to rewind slightly, because that weapon's within half range. You're actually you get to roll 2 dice for damage and discard the lowest one. So I rolled a 1, and that's a 5. So if I discard the 1, that's actually 5 damage, which takes that rhino down to 5 wounds remaining. Okay, good job I checked. Right, next unit up is the warbikes. In terms of visible units, there aren't any. Actually, they can see the intercessors. Whoops. So there's a gap. You see my finger? There's a gap right there, and they can see this intercessor. So we're going to shoot at the intercessor squad. That is rapid fire. So no, it's not rapid fire, sorry. It's 6 shots hitting on 4s. So 3 hits, 4s to wound, 3 up saves. Oh, okay. So another wound on the intercessors. Pop it on that guy just there. And next we've got this rhino. So this rhino is going to fire its Stormbolter into the intercessors as well. He's within half range, so rapid fire gives him 4 shots. The intercessors are behind cover, so there are 4 to wound instead of a 4 to hit instead of a 3 to hit. So we get 1 hit and no wounds. Okay, and now the bolt guns on this unit here. So we've got how many have we got left? 9. So we've got 8 bolt guns, because the sergeant has got chainsword bolt pistol. So that's 8 shots hitting on 3s. These are going into this rhino. So 8 shots hitting on 3s. 5 hits, strength 4, toughness 7, so 5s for a wound. 2 wounds, and these are a 3 up. Okay, so he takes a wound. So we've always also got the sergeant's bolt pistol, which is in range as well. So we're going to shoot that. 3 to hit, that hits. 5 to wound, that wounds. 3 up save is saved. And then finally the Chaos Lord Banach, who's right there. He's got a plasma pistol, so he's going to shoot at that rhino as well. So this is 1 shot that hits on a 2. That hits. Strength 7, so it's a 4 to wound. That wounds, and it's a -3 AP, so it's not saved, and it does 1 damage. So it's another wound off that fella. There we go. Okay, this guy here, Stormbolter into this rhino, so he's moved. But he's within half range, so 4 shots hitting on a 3. It's 4 hits, 4s to wound, 3 wounds, and a 3 up save. Those are all saved. Okay, we're now looking at these 2 units here. These ones don't have ranged weapons, so it's these guys. So we're going to do plasma pistol first into this squad. So it's 1 shot hitting on a 3. That's a miss. We've then got a standard bolt pistol into that squad. 1 shot hitting on a 3. That hits. 4 to wound. That wounds. 3 up. Not saved. So that's 1 of those guys gone. We'll take him. And then we've got the 2 plasma guns, which are going to go into this rhino. So these are rapid fire, and they hit on a 3. Okay, disappointing. Strength 7, so 4 to wound. Is it strength 7? Let me just double check. Plasma gun is a 7. Yes, it is. So it's strength 7, 4 to wound. Doesn't wound. Okay. Last unit that needs to shoot is the Hellbrute, so just going to look at the weapon profile, and I'll be right back. course, I know it's a Helldrake, not a Hellbrute. We're going to fire the Hades autocannon into this rhino. So it's heavy 4. He's moved, so these are going to hit on a 5. So 1 hit. Strength 8 versus toughness 7. So this is a 3 to wound. Oh, how very disappointing. So that is the end of the chaos shooting phase. So we're just going to look at charges and we'll come right back to you. So end of chaos charges. Hellbrute failed to charge. No damage on Overwatch. Second Hellbrute failed to charge. No damage on Overwatch. Cultists have stayed put. Lord has stayed put. Desolate Ones failed to charge. No damage on Overwatch. Successful charge by the Bloodletters. However, they've lost 2 to Overwatch from this unit here. 1 bolter and 1 flamer through the gap between the trees. And then the Raptors have made it into the captain. No damage on Overwatch. 2 rhinos going toe to toe. No damage on Overwatch. And the Space Marine squad made it in just about. Again, no damage on Overwatch. So that is all the charges complete. Fight phase is next. Right, so Bloodletters first. So they get 1 attack each, but the leader gets 2. So that's 6 attacks hitting on, I want to say 4s. Let me just double check. 3s, hitting on 3s. So 6 attacks hitting on 3s. They're wounding on 4s, and they're -1 AP, so it's a 4-up save. Okay, so that's another dead Space Marine, so we'll take that guy in the middle there. We should have piled these in, really. So let me just pile these in. There we go, that's better. Space Marines now get to fight back. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 attacks back. These hit on 3s. 7 attacks, sorry, because of the chainsword. So 5 hits, 4s to wound, and 6 up saves. Okay, so dead, dead, dead. Right, the Raptors next. 6 attacks in there, hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, and the captain has a 3-up save. Okay, he's good. He's now going to hit back with his fat power fist, so he gets, I think it's 4 attacks, let me check. So it's 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. Strength times 2, so it's strength 8 versus toughness 4, so it's 2s to wound because he's using his power fist. Okay, and these are -3 AP for D3 damage, so 6 up saves. D3 damage. Ooh. So one does 3 and the other one does 1. That's 2 hits though, so basically that's 2 dead. Whoops. 2 dead raptors. There we go. Okay then, that's resolved. So we'll go over to this one next. So this one's quite easy. So it's 3 attacks each. They hit on 3s. No, they don't. They hit on 6s. And they wound on 4s. Okay, that was the chaos one. So hitting on 6s. Wounding on 4s. 3-up save. Saved. Okay, that was nice and easy. And then we're into this one just here. So need to pile in first, 3 inches. pretty much gets them all into combat. So that's 10 attacks hitting on 3s. And wounding on 5s. It's 1 wound and a 3-up save. Not saved. Okay, so that's another wound off. And then the rhino is going to try and run them over, so 3 attacks hitting on 6s. Nothing. Okay, that is the end of the fight phase. So we're now looking at the morale phase. The raptors lost 2 this turn. Okay, so they're good. And then the bloodletters lost 3 this turn. They are also good. Space Marines, this unit here, lost 1 this turn, so they're good. And I believe that is it. Although we did lose a sniper as well, didn't we? So better roll for those, and they're good. Right, okay, so that is the end of the Chaos turn. They have scored 1 point for this objective. So it's now 3 points Space Marines, 1 point to Chaos. Space Marines turn 2 is coming up. End of Space Marines movement for turn number 2. Dreadnought here is moved forward to support the captain and the librarian, dealing with the last 2 raptors. The blue squad, call them the blue squad, have jumped over the barrier. Bit reckless maybe, looking to perhaps engage these berserkers. The other standard dreadnought has moved up to this barrier, this pipeline, just to give a bit of support on the gun line with the intercessors, as has this squad of Space Marines. And then finally the Rhino here has moved forwards to try and tie up this Hellbrute, just to reduce the amount of firepower coming into the central area. So that's it for movement. Psychic next. Got to remember I've got 3 Psychers on the Space Marine side this time. So Psychic phase for Space Marines. First things first, we're going to roll a smite on the Rhino that's on 1 wound from the Terminator Librarian there. So it goes off on a 5. That does go off. Now the Sorcerer actually moved forwards a few inches, so I just need to check range for deny purposes. I think I'm gonna say in range. So in range to deny that, which is a little bit annoying. I should have moved that librarian in the movement phase. So, although he doesn't deny. So that Rhino takes a mortal wound. Does it explode? No, it does not. There we go. Okay. Now going to cast Fury of the Ancients into this unit just here. So this is a walk charge of 7. That is a Perils. That goes off. Now I think we have to resolve the Perils first, don't we? So D3, 3 mortal wounds. Okay, he has exploded, and I think that causes D3 damage to anything within 6 inches. I will just double check that. So D3 damage on the Redemptor for 3, the Captain for 2, the Intercessors for 1. That's easy, I can just take one of those away. And finally, I think he's still in range. Yep, the chaplain for 3. So we had a 3 on the Redemptor, we had a 2 on the captain, and we had a 3 on the chaplain. We've already taken out the intercessor. Okay, next psyker is going to be the Primaris psyker just here. So Primaris psyker is going to cast Smite on to the cultists who are over the back here. That does not go off because we need a 6. He's now going to cast Might of Heroes again on this Rhino, which goes off on a 6. That goes off. So he's now got Might of Heroes. And then finally over the far side, this librarian's going to cast a Smite onto that Rhino. We need a 7, which we get for D3 for 3 mortal wounds. Okay, and we're also going to cast, whoops, I really need a new camera. Oh, so he's now got 3 left. We're also going to cast Psychic Scourge onto the Raptors. So 9 plus 2 is 11. That's a fail. Okay, needed to roll to see if it went off anyway, and it did, but it was a failed cast. Okay, that's the end of Psychic. It's shooting coming up next. So snipers first, 4 shots into the Chaos Lord on Juggernaut, hits on 3s, wounds on 4s, that's 2 mortal wounds. I think that's 3 wounds, let me just double check that. No, it's just 2 mortal wounds, strength 5 on the Chaos Lord on Juggernaut, so one of those didn't go through. Yeah, 2 mortal wounds. He has 6 wounds altogether, so he is now on 4. Right, I'm going to do this squad of Space Marines next, and they're going to shoot at the Desolate ones. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolters, of which 5 are in half range, and 1 pistol. So we'll do those first. So these are going into the Desolate ones, hitting on 3s, and wounding on 4s, and 3s to save. They're all saved. Okay then. Flamer is out of range, so it's the missile launcher next. So this is a frag missile, which is going to do 1, which hits on a 3. Sorry, yeah, hits on a 3, and it doesn't even hit. Okay, that was a shame. We'll do the what can they see? I think they can only literally see the cultists, or can they see? Oh, they can see the Helldrake. So we're going to do Helldrake as the target with the las cannons. I just need to measure range for the heavy bolter, which is 36 inches. Yeah, so easily in range, las cannons and heavy bolters. So 3 shots, hit on 3s. That's 2 hits. And strength 9 versus toughness 7, so 3s to wound. That's 2 wounds. So it's -3 AP, so 6 up to save. Not saved, and D6 damage each for 10 points of damage. Now Helldrake has 12 wounds, so that leaves him on 2. Wow. And now we're going to fire the heavy bolter, which is 3 shots, which hit. Strength 4 versus toughness 7, so 5s to wound. No wounds. Lucky, lucky Helldrake. Okay, now twin las cannon on the Dreadnought. That's going to fire into the Hellbrute as well. So that's 2 shots hitting on 3s, 2 hits. 3s to wound, 1 wound, minus 3 AP, so 6 to save, not saved. D6 damage for 1. Ooh. So he's now down to 1 wound. Wow. Okay, so that Dreadnought is armed with the heavy bolter. Sorry, the flame weapon. So he can't shoot the flame weapon because it's out of range. So we are now going to shoot the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon from the Redemptor into the Helldrake as well. So this is 12 shots hitting on 3s. And wounding on 5s. Oh. Minus 1 AP, so a 4 to save. Oh, look at that. That Helldrake holding on by the skin of its teeth. Okay, so that means with that down to 1 wound, I need really to kind of finish it off. Now, Icarus rocket pods have 24-inch range, and that is too far out to hit. So the only other option I've got is to use the twin las cannon on this unit here, which would hit on a 4. So, because he's moved, it's heavy, 2 shots hitting on 4s. No hits. Okay, that's a shame, but there you go. Only other bit of shooting we can do, I think, is the bolt rifles and storm bolters in these units just here. So the bolt rifles are going to fire through that gap at the warbikes. So that's 3 shots hitting on, oh, they didn't move, so it's 6 shots hitting on 3s. 2 hits, 5s to wound, 2 wounds, 1 goes through, 1 is saved. Okay, everything else really that's in range is in combat that these guys can see, unless the storm bolters are in range of the Helldrake, but could be wasted shots because, yeah, so they're easily in range. Okay, let me just have a think. So on reflection, the chaplain is in range of the Helldrake, but the captain, Aldous, is not. So we're going to go for it. It's a rapid fire 2 weapon, so 2 shots hitting on 3s, 1 hit, 5 to wound, no wound. Okay. That is the end of Space Marines shooting. Charges are next. End of the charge phase. Dreadnought has charged into this group here, as has the Librarian. This squad stayed put, obviously in combat with Bloodletters. However, this squad has charged across to engage with the Sorcerer, who's on 1 wound. And then all the way over here, the Rhino has made it into this Hellbrute, lost nothing to Overwatch. So, charges over, fight phase coming up next. So, Captain with his Power Fist is going to go first, so he gets 4 attacks hitting on 2s. And strength is ×2, so it's a 2 to wound. Those all wound, it's minus 3 AP, so 6 up saves. 2 go through. So that means he's dead. Ooh, he's definitely dead, and the other guy is on 1 wound. So he's now down to 1 wound. So the sergeant's going to fight back, so he gets 2 attacks hitting on 3s, 1 hit, 4 to wound, no wound. Okay, so now it's we're going to do the Dreadnought next. So he gets 4 attacks, these hit on 3s, strength is ×2, so he's wound on 2s, -3 AP, so it's a 6-up save. 2 go through and they're D3 damage, I believe, so that is dead anyway. That Raptor Sergeant is gone. Okay, so we'll do this combat next. So first of all we're going to pile in. That will do for now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 attacks into the Sorcerer. These hit on 3s and will wound on 4s. And the Sorcerer has a... oh, look at that. Saved them all. Okay, so he's now going to fight back. So 4 attacks hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, and it's -1 AP, so it's a 4-up save. Saved. Right, so we're now looking at 2 Rhinos. So Space Marine Rhino first, 3 attacks hitting on 6s, no hits. Rhino hitting back, no hits. And then this one here, so 3 attacks hitting on 6s, 1 hit, strength 7, toughness 4, 3 to wound. That's a wound, and I think it's -3 AP. Let me check. Would you look at that? There's no -AP on a Rhino ramming you, so 3 to save. That's a save. And then back at the Rhino, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 attacks. 4, 7, 11. Hit on 3s. Ooh, 3, 6, there's 1 more. Okay, wound on 5s. That's 1 wound and 3 up. Saved. And finally, we've got the Rhino versus Hellbrute all the way over the far side there. Okay, so finally the Rhino, who's got +1 strength, toughness and attacks into the Hellbrute. So 4 attacks hitting on 6s, nothing. Hellbrute hits back, 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 2 hits, strength 7 versus toughness 8, so 5 to wound, 2 wounds, -3 AP, so 6-up save, no saves, D3 damage. So these are a flat 3 damage. That Rhino's got 5 wounds left. So does it explode? No, it does not. Okay, so that Rhino is no more. That is the end of the fight phase. In terms of morale, the only unit we've lost from is the Intercessors, and we lost 1, so they are good. No other losses anywhere else. So that's the end of Space Marines turn number 2, and we score 2 points. So we score number 2 and number 1. Number 3 still lies in the Chaos hands. So that's 5 points to 1 at the end of turn number 2. So at the end of the Khorne movement phase for turn number 3, berserkers over the back here, standard move forwards, captains move forwards, the commander, sorry, just in the middle there. War bikes have advanced from the very far side, just moving in to engage with the rhino. Adjusted the points on this rhino because I made an error. That should have been 7. I actually had it at 9 wounds remaining, but it is actually 7 wounds remaining. The Helldrake has moved into the building here on its last wound, so movement is restricted. This berserker squad has moved forwards. We've got the Terminators on the table. Sorcerer is still where he was. Got the Rhino back on the table. Desolate Ones have moved forwards to engage with the snipers, as have the cultists and the Lord on Juggernaut. And then we've also got the Raptors back on the table, just hiding behind this building at the moment. The Hellbrutes have moved forwards to look at engaging the standard Space Marine squad. So that is the end of the Chaos movement phase. It's the Psychic phase coming up next. Right, so this is the Khorne turn 3 Psychic phase. So poor old lonely sorcerer down here on 1 wound is going to try and relieve some of these Space Marines of their souls. So he's going to try a smite for a warp charge of 5, which we get on a 7. Now there is a Space Marine sorcerer within 24 inches, so a deny goes off on a 10, so that power is denied. And we are now going to try Infernal Gaze on the same unit. This goes off on a 5, so that's successful. There isn't another Psyker within 24 inches, so can't be denied, and need 4s or more. Okay, so that is 2 mortal wounds. So I'm going to take that fella and that fella. Psychic phase is over. So shooting phase next. I'm going to do the Desolate Ones into the snipers. Now there are 3 bolt pistols within the building, so that negates the cover. So it's just camo cloaks. So 3 shots hitting on a 4. That's 1 hit. 4 to wound. That is a wound, and it's a 3-up save, and that is saved. We've then got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. We've got 10 more shots that will hit on a 5. That's 3 hits, 4s again, 1 wound, 3 up. Didn't see where that went. Let's try that again. 3 up. 1 dead sniper. Take that fella there. So because of the amount of dice involved, I've just rolled for the cultists off camera. There were 28 auto gun shots in there, 3 hits, 1 wound, which was saved. The heavy stubber can't hit the snipers because he would need to roll a 7, and then the shotgun on the champion, 1 hit, 1 wound, but again that was saved. So no damage on the snipers from the cultists. It's now the champion with his plasma pistol. So because I'm terrible at remembering profiles, I need to find it. Plasma pistol is pistol 1, strength 7, -3 AP for 1 damage. Okay, so the champion, the Lord on Juggernaut has a ballistic skill of 2, so he needs to roll a 4 to hit, which he does not. Okay, So that's the end of shooting for this little area here. We're going to move around to the Hellbrute next, I think, just around the far side. So these two Hellbrutes are both going to fire their multi-melters at the Redemptor, which is right there. So these guys have a range of 24 inches and it's a heavy one, so they're going to hit on 4s. So 2 multi-melter shots into the Redemptor, hitting on 4s. Both miss. Okay, we've also got flamers in there. So the flamers are going to shoot at the Space Marines. These are D6 auto hits each. So we've got 5 auto hits. Grab some more dice. 5 auto hits at strength 5 versus toughness 4. So these are wounding on 3s. So we've got 2 wounds. They're minus 3 AP, so 6 ups. Not saved. That is going to be 2 dead Space Marines. There we go. So I'm going to do 2 shots from the Storm Bolter on this Rhino, and this is going to go into the Dreadnought, which is right there. So this is 2 shots hitting on 3s. That's 1 hit. 5 to wound. That's not a wound. The end. That's all she wrote. Okay, then over to the Warbikes just here are going to shoot at the Primaris Marines in this building. So they are going to be firing 6 shots and hitting on 4s. So let's go around the other side. 6. So 6 shots hitting on 4s. Moving on 3s. 3 up saves. Okay, so that's another wound off. Okay, moving on to the Helldrake next, I think. So the Hades autocannon is going to fire at the Redemptor. So 4 shots hitting on 5s. Okay, so we've got 2 hits. Strength 8 versus toughness 7, so it's a 3 to wound. That is 2 wounds. And it's minus 1 AP, so it's a 4 up save. And they are both saved. Okay then, the only unit we've got left I think that can shoot is the Terminators. So just work out what weapons they've got and then we'll do that unit next. Okay, so we've got 1 Reaper autocannon which is going to shoot at the Dreadnought. This is heavy, so hitting on a 4. 2 hits, 4s to wound. 1 wound, it's minus 1 AP, so it's a 4 up save. Not saved. So that does 1 wound, so that takes the Dreadnought down to 7. Okay, we've then got 2 Storm Bolters, so same target. 2 hits, 5s to wound, no wounds. Okay, the other guy has got a flamer. No, he hasn't. He's got a multi-melter, sorry. And this guy's got 2 lightning claws. So multi-melter next. That's 1 shot heavy, so hitting on a 4. That's a miss. So that is the end of the chaos shooting phase. So charges are coming up next. So charge phase, the desolate ones are going to charge into the snipers. So 3 shots and no hits on Overwatch. So charge, easily make it in. So let's just get all these guys into combat, because we rolled an 8, so I've got plenty of flexibility to get all these guys in. Make sure that they're all within an inch of each other. They've gone around a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then because they now can without being shot at, the cultists are going to charge in, and they get a 4. So, move those into there. Okay, and then finally the Chaos Lord, again easily in. You've got double 6, so what I'll do is I'll move that guy over that side, and then let's move. Yeah, it's a little bit tight there, isn't it? So we're just going to have to accept that those are all in combat together. Okay, then we're going to move around to the Hellbrutes. A few more dice. So I'm going to do this Hellbrute first, who's going to charge into this unit of Space Marines. Now, in terms of what can see, they pretty much can all see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 11 bolter shots because of the bolter discipline. So that just so happens that I've picked up 11 dice, so I want 6s. Okay, so we get 1, and that's going to hit on, wound on a 5, which it does not. We've then got a Flamer, which gets 2 auto hits, wounding on a 5, 1 wounds, and it's a 3 up for a save, which is saved. And then finally we've got the missile launcher, which is 6 shots. And I'm going to say that 2 of those hit. 1 wound, not saved. Okay, so roll for the charge. Easily in on a 5, so he is in, but he's lost 1 wound. The other Hellbrute is now going to charge on a 7. That could be a little bit short. No, he's good. He's in as well. There we go. Okay, so I just need to take a wound off this Dreadnought. Sorry, Hellbrute, and then move on to the next charge. Okay, next charge is the Warbikes going into this Rhino. They're easily in. That one, and that one. He had 1 wound. And then the Chaos Lord, he's going to charge in as well. 6, so he's easily in. So what we're going to do is we're going to just do a bit of consolidation so that he can get in. There we go. And then finally, the last charge that we're going to perform is the Helldrake on its final wound, which is going to charge into the Librarian, which is right there. So Overwatch from the Librarian, he can't shoot because he has no ranged weapons. So that means for the charge we get an 11. So that is successful. Could be a little bit messy, but whoops, he just needs to go into there. Okay, and he's on 1 wound. There we go. Charge is complete. So fight phase is coming up. So this is the fight phase, and we're going to start with these 2 rhinos. Nice and easy, 3 attacks hitting on 6s. no hits, and then the Space Marine Rhino hitting back. That's one hit, that's a 4 to wound, that's a wound, and a 3-up save, which is saved. Next it's the Chaos Space Marine squad into the Rhino, so that's 10 hits. I'll need a 3, and that's 8 hits, and a 5 to wound. Okay, so that's 4 wounds, and 3-up save on the Rhino. Okay, so 2 more wounds go through, so that puts the Rhino on 5 wounds remaining. We've next got the Warbikes, who are 2 attacks each and then 3 on the champion. Let me just check. Okay, so actually 1 attack each and 2 on the champion, so 4 attacks. These hit on 3s, I believe. I better check that as well. Yep, so these hit on 3s. So 3 hits. These are strength 5, but still a 5 to wound. 1 wound and a 3-up save. That's saved. Okay, and then finally it's the turn of Banach himself with the Murder Sword. So this is 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. 4 hits, so strength is 5 versus toughness 7, so it's a 5 to wound. So there's 2 wounds, and this is a -4 AP weapon, so that is 2 more damage on the Rhino, puts him down to 3. Now the Rhino's going to hit back and is going to go for... Right, we're going to do 1 into the Space Marines, 1 into the Lord, and 1 into the bikes. So, Space Marines first. That's a miss. Lord. That's a miss. Bikes. That's a miss. Okay, that combat is now over. So we're going to resolve this one next. So the Helldrake, because it's been bracketed, has only got 2 attacks and he's hitting on a 5. Heroic interventions from the captain and the the Dreadnought. So 2 attacks hitting on a 5. So we get 1 hit. And a strength 7 versus toughness 4, so a 3 to wound. Does not wound. Okay, so Librarian's going to hit back first, and then the other 2 units. So the Librarian is using his Force Sword, so this is 3 attacks hitting on 3s. That's 2 hits, and it's strength 4 versus toughness 7, so 5 to wound. No wounds. Okay then, so next it's the Captain with his Power Fist, so 4 hits. These hit on 3s. Okay, so 3 hits. This is strength times 2, so it's strength 8 versus toughness 7, so it's a 3 to wound. All 3 wound. And these are obviously D3 damage, so that Helldrake is gone quite easily. Does it explode? Yes, it does. So, crash and burn, D3 mortal wounds on every unit within 3 inches, within 6 inches. So this is going to affect the Rhino, these 3 units here, and this squad, and also the Bloodletters. So, Rhino first, D3 wounds for 1. Okay, so we'll just literally take that one off because that die will come in handy. Then we've got the Captain. He takes 3. The Librarian is going to take 2. And the Dreadnought is going to take 1. So, down to 6. So that puts the Captain on 4, I believe. Let me just check the wounds on these guys. Yeah, so the Captain is down to 4 wounds, and the Librarian is sorry, no, the captain took 3, didn't he? So he's down to 2. Oh, where are we? There we go. And the librarian who took 1 wound is down to 3. Need longer arms. Let's just get him out of the way. Whoop. Here we go. Okay, so bloodletters, D3 mortal wounds. They take 1, so that is 1 dead. And then the Space Marine squad takes 1, so that is 1 dead. Okay, could have been worse. Right, moving on, we're going to do the sorcerer. Right, sorcerer gets 3 attacks hitting on 3s, so 3 hits. Strength is +1 because he's got a force axe, so hits on a, sorry, wounds on a 3. 3 wounds. Minus AP on this weapon is -2, so it's a 5-up save. Not saved. 3 dead Marines. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Marines hitting back. So we've got a 2 attacks +1 for the chainsword on the sergeant, and then another 4. So that's 7 hitting on 3s. 6 hits, wounding on 4s. 3 wounds. And those are all saved. So it's this combat next, and we're going to start with the cultists, I think. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 who are all within an inch. So that's 7 attacks, and they hit on a 4. So that's 2 hits, and they wound on a 5. No wounds. Okay. Then the Chaos Lord on Juggernaut. So the Lord gets 4 attacks hitting on 2s. Okay, and wounding on 4s, I believe. What's he using? He's using a power axe. So actually they're +1, so wounding on 3s. That's 2 wounds, and it's -2 AP. So it's a 5 to save. So that's another dead sniper. Okay, and then finally we've got the berserkers. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 attacks. There's some power axes in there as well. So 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 16. Okay, 16 attacks hitting on 3s. And wounding on 4s. Oh, that was a hit, that one was a miss. And then 3s to save. I think that's 2 dead scouts. Okay, moving on, we've got 2 Hellbrutes over here next. Right, so we go with the Hellbrute on the left first. 4 attacks hitting on 3s. Okay, strength is ×2. So these will wound on 2s. And -3 AP, so 6s to save. Okay, they're D3 damage, I think, but 2 Marines killed. And then the right hand Hellbrute hitting on 3s. 4 hits, wounding on 2s. 4 wounds, again -3 AP, so 6s to save. That's another 4 dead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we've got 4 attacks back, 3 with a chainsword and 1 from the standard marine. These are going to go into this guy here. So hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s. With a 3-up save, he's good. Okay, that's the end of the chaos. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's a blood letter right there, so we'll go around and do that one, and then that'll be the end. Right, so this is the Blood Reaper. So 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. That's 1 hit. 4 to wound. That's a wound. It's -3 AP, so it's a 6-up. So that is 1 more dead Space Marine. And then the Space Marines are going to hit back. Bearing in mind that I should have consolidated those, but I'll do that in a minute. So this is 8 attacks back, hitting on 3s. There's only 1 miss. And 4s to wound. Okay, so that's 4 wounds. And then these guys have got a 6-up. Still dead. That's it. That's the end of the blood letters. Okay, so that is now the end of the fight phase for chaos. Just going to do morale, and then that'll be the end of the turn. Okay, so in terms of morale, no losses over here from the Chaos Marines. No losses here. The Space Marine squad here have lost 2 from this turn, so they're good. These Space Marines have lost 3. And they're good, and these Space Marines have lost 8. But they get to reroll, I think, for yeah. So I'm afraid that is a rout. So these 2 guys have taken too many hits this turn, and they have fled the battlefield. So the Chaos side are going to get first strike for taking out the snipers just there, and they will also pick up a point for that objective and a point for this objective. So 3 points for Chaos for their turn. Space Marines turn 3 is coming right up. End of Space Marines turn 4 movement. We've got a little bit of strategy going on here. So this Rhino has fallen back out of combat, which basically means he won't be able to shoot in the shooting phase. However, that's left all of these Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, Bikers, Chaos Lord, etc. open to fire from this group in the centre. Similarly, this Rhino has fallen back to get away from this Chaos Rhino, which has left this one open to fire from the Dreadnought and the Captain. This squad of Space Marines has just moved around this building just to get line of sight on the Terminators. No movement here. And then over in the centre, the Redemptor has moved around to get into charge range of the Hellbrutes, just to prevent them from moving forward in the Chaos turn. So that's movement complete. Psychic phase is next. So first things first, this Librarian is going to cast a Smite on Bannock, who is right there with the horns. So this goes off on a 5, which it does not. Okay, now going to cast Might of Heroes on to the Redemptor, which will be +1 to strength, toughness and attacks. Might of Heroes goes off on a 6, which it does. There is a sorcerer nearby who can deny on anything more than that, which he does. Okay then, so this Librarian is also going to attempt Might of Heroes on the Redemptor, which it does not go off because it needs a +1. Oh, how frustrating. And in that case is going to do a Smite on this Hellbrute. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible roll. We're going to command point re-roll that one. And we do get a successful smite. D3 mortal wounds for just 1 mortal wound. Okay, that's the end of the psychic phase. Remembering we've only got 2 psychers left on the Space Marine side now, so shooting is next. Okay, so Space Marines shooting phase. Going to start with the 2 rhinos. Both storm bolters are going to go into the war bikes. So that's 4 shots hitting on 3s, 4 hits, 5s to wound, 2 wounds, and then 3 up saves. Not saved. So that is 1 destroyed war bike and 1 left on 1 wound, so I'll just take that fella there. Okay, we're going to do the Hellblasters next. These are going to shoot into the war bikes as well. So we've got 2, 4, 6 shots in there using the bolter discipline. So 6 shots hitting on 3s, that's 4 hits, and they're wounding on 5s, and we've got no wounds. We've also got 2 storm bolters in there, 1 on the chaplain and 1 on the captain. So again, 4 shots. Now 2 of these hit on 2s and 2 hit on 3s. So we'll do the chaplain first, hitting on 3s. These are into the war bikes. Okay, and then wounding on 5s, no wounds, and then the captain. Hold on. Captain gives a re-roll. So the captain gives a re-roll on 1s to hit. We didn't get any 1s to hit. So 2 wounds, wounded on 5s, that's 1. 3 up save is saved. Okay, must remember that for next time. Okay, captain next. Captain here is going to fire his mastercrafted bolt gun at the war bikes as well. So again, 2 shots, hitting on 2s, both hit, wounding on 5s, no wounds. Okay, and then the twin las cannon on the dreadnought is going to shoot at this rhino. So that's 2 shots hitting on 3s. Oh, I'm going to command point reroll one of those. Okay, so that's 1 hit. It's strength 9 versus toughness 7, so it's a 3 to wound. No, okay, not to worry. Okay, so the heavy flamer on that dreadnought isn't in range of anything, so we're going to do these Space Marines next. So they've moved, so they're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 bolt shots, bolt pistol and 3 bolt rifles. These are going into the Terminators. So hitting on 3s, 4 hits, wounding on 5s, 3 wounds, 2 up saves. They're all good. Flamer, 1, wounding on a 5, no wounds. And then the missile launcher is going to fire a frag grenade. That hits, doesn't wound. Okay. Next unit we're going to shoot is the heavies in the middle here. So we've got 3 las cannons. These are going to go into the rhino just here. So 3 shots hitting on 3s. That's 1 hit, strength 9, so 3 to wound. That wounds, 6 up save, not saved, and it's D3 damage for 1. Okay, so that should actually have been D6 damage, but it still only rolled, was that? Yeah, so it was 2, so he's down to 1. There we go. Okay, then the heavy bolter, which is heavy 3, they haven't moved, so hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s, 3 up saves, both saved. Okay, moving around to this side. So we've got the heavy bolter on the dreadnought, so this is going to hit on a 4. This is into the desolate ones, so 2 hits because he's moved. 4's to wound. No wounds. Okay, and then the heavy flamer, 6 auto hits and 4 wounds, -1 AP, so it's 4 up to save. So that's 2 dead berserkers. So I'm going to take 2 of the chain axes out, that one and that one. Okay. Okay, so I neglected to take into account cover on those 2 shots, so I must remember that for next time. So the bolt pistol on the chaplain is going to shoot at the desolate ones as well, so this will hit on a 4 because of cover. That hits, wounds on a 4, 3 up save is saved. Okay, and then finally we've got 10 shots from the bolt rifles that are going to go into these guys as well. So I need a few more of the old cubes. So these are going to hit on a 4 because of cover. They're going to wound on a 4 and 3 up saves. They're all good. Okay, and then finally, going around to this side, we've got the Redemptor, which is going to pile all of its weapons into, well, for now, this Hellbrute. Actually, we're going to change up what we're going to do. The Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon is going to shoot into the cultists. So that's 12 shots, hitting on 3s. Okay, and it's strength 5, toughness 3, so wounds on 3s. And in terms of AP, there is -1 AP, so the cultists can't save against that, so there's 8 dead cultists. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and we've got, what have we got? 2 Fragstorm grenade launchers. So these are going to go into the... Yeah, these are going to go into the cultists as well. So these are D6, so that's 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. These are hitting on 3s. Okay, and then these are wounding on 3s. Oh, okay, and finally the Icarus rocket pod. That's going to go into this Hellbrute. So that's heavy D3, heavy D3 for 2. So 2 shots, hitting on 3s, 1 hits, wounding on a 4+, doesn't wound. That's a shame. Okay, that is the end of the Space Marines shooting phase. Just having a quick scan over the board, make sure we haven't missed anything, and we haven't. So we are now looking at charges. So in my eagerness to get these rhinos shooting, unfortunately I forgot that they fell back in the previous phase, in the movement phase, so they can't actually shoot. So I have redeployed the bike that they killed, because yeah, that seems like the right thing to do. So that's shooting all done. So it's now charge phase. So we are now going to charge the Redemptor into these two. Well, he's going to charge into this Hellbrute. So the Hellbrute is going to fire Overwatch. So Flamer first. Ooh, 6. Strength 4, toughness 7, so 1 wound, and that's saved. And then we've got the multi-melter, which is 1 shot, and that's not a hit. So charge, easily in. So there we go. Can't get him into an inch of this guy without him being within an inch of this guy. So what we're going to do is we're just going to multi-charge and charge him both. So the other guy's going to do Overwatch now as well. So Flamer, 2 shots, 2 hits, both saved, and then multi-melter. That's not a hit. Okay, so those two are now in combat with the Redemptor. We are also going to recharge the Rhino into the bikes. So the bikes get 6 shots. That's the Legion trait for this army, is that they can charge in the same turn that they fell back. So we get 2 hits, 5 to wound, no wounds. Okay, and the charge is in, so he is now back in combat. Put him there with those rhinos. Okay, move around this side, and same for this rhino. He's going to charge back into the Chaos Rhino, so 2 shots. Actually should be 4, no, because he's a vehicle. So that's 1 hit, 4 to wound, not a wound. Charging, 8, that's easily in, so he's back into, whoops, that rhino. There we go. So those guys are back in combat. Now that, I think, is going to be it for charges for now. So fight phase, hold on. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge these intercessors into the flank of the bikes, which is easily doable. So I'm just going to move that guy over a little bit and then drop him in there, remembering he is on 1 wound. Is going to be a little bit cramped, and him in there, and then he can just go in over the back there. There we go. Okay, fight phase coming up. So Redemptor first, 4 attacks hitting on 3s. So we're going to do 2 into each of the Hellbrutes. So that's 1 hit. Strength 14 versus toughness 7, so it's a 2 to wound. Okay, and then the other one, that's a hit, 2 to wound, 2 wounds, -3 AP, so 6 up saves. That's not saved. And then the Redemptor Fist does, where is it? D6 damage. So this is on this rhino for 6. So that takes that rhino down to 2 wounds. If only that had been the other one. Okay, and then they both get to hit back.
So they get 4 attacks each. So let's just roll all that together. Hitting on 3s. So they all hit. Winning on 2s. So, okay, -3 AP, so 6s. Oh. These are D6 damage. Oh dear. Right. Okay, so he's got 10 wounds left. There's about 15 wounds there, 18 wounds, something like that. So does he explode? No, he does not. Wow. That was pretty intense. Yeah, just looking at that again, those 5 wounds were actually 3 flat damage each. So that was still 15 wounds. Redemptor was left on 10, so there you go, he's now off the table. So we're going to move on to the 2 rhinos next, just coming up. Okay, so these 2 first. That's 1 hit, no wound, and then the Chaos Rhino hitting back, 1 hit, no wound. Okay. Space Marine Rhino into the bikes, so 3 attacks, no hits, and then the, what are they? They're the Primaris Intercessors, so 5, 6, 7 attacks into the bikes, hitting on 3s. So 4 hits, wounding on 5s. Only 1 wound in there, and it's a 3-up save, and it's saved. Okay, and then we've got 4 attacks back from the bikes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 attacks into the Rhino, and then two attacks into the Intercessors. So Rhino first, hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s. Okay, and then into the Intercessors, wounding on 3s. And then a 3-up save is saved. Okay, stalemate on both of those combats. Last one is this one just here. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks, hitting on 3s, and wounding on 4s. And then saving, not saved. Okay, so that is the end of the Sorcerer. Another unit down. That's the fight phase over, I believe. So just morale left. And there's been no losses. No losses on the Space Marine side that would need to have a morale roll done. So that's it for turn number 3. So the Space Marines just literally have 1 point for that one there. So that puts them on 6 compared to 4 for the Chaos side. Chaos turn 4 coming up.